Welcome to the Black Script Storytellers. My name is Kevin Marable, and today our guest is an award-winning filmmaker, writer, and director known for his gripping, emotionally charged storytelling. He's made a name for himself in both television and film, with writing and directing credits on hit BET series Zatima, Sisters, and Ruthless. He's also the visionary behind the psychological thriller The Reading, starring Monique, and his newest short film, Old Gray Mare, a haunting, heartfelt look at dementia, is making waves on the film festival circuit. Currently under overall deal with Tyler Perry Studios, where he's set to direct his first feature, A Love, this storyteller is shaping the future of Black cinema. We have with us today Courtney Glaudé. Courtney, thank you so much for joining.
All right, thank you. Oh, we got my last name is Glaudé, so it's I just no.
Okay.
We gonna keep this one though, because we gotta let everybody. We gonna keep this. We let everybody know it's Glaudé. We from my
I got
people.
you.
It's the best way. They gotta see that they can see this part. Let them see the part.
All right, I got you. Courtney Glaudé, thank you so much for joining. How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great, man. I'm great. Thank you so much for joining. I truly appreciate you taking time out to speak with us.
Mhm.
And what I like to do with every interview, I like to start with a very simple question, but some might find it difficult to answer. Are you ready?
Okay. All right.
And that question is, who is Courtney Glaudé?
Mm. A storyteller. I'm a storyteller first. I love telling stories. I grew up in Houston, Texas. Obviously, you can see, and where we're from, they didn't teach you how to, or the things that you can go to school for creatively. But I've always been a storyteller since I was a kid. My mom will even tell you, like, it was hard for me to like go outside. I wasn't the sports type.
Mhm.
I will always be in a room like writing something. Yeah, man, I'm a father, you know what I'm saying? And like all of those
Nice.
things. But yeah, if I had to define myself in one word, I'm a storyteller.
Storyteller. Nice,
Mhm.
nice. I like that, man. I like that. But first and foremost, congratulations on your overall deal with Tyler Perry Studios.
Thank
Can you share how that partnership came about and what it means for your career moving forward?
When I with my first film, The Reading, when I was shopping it around before I went to BET Plus, I got in touch with a Robert Boyd. Robert Boyd was at Swirl Films at the time, and I went to Swirl to have a meeting. And when The Reading came out, even though I met Robert back then, and the deal couldn't go through the way that it was supposed to, later on when he ended up at Tyler Perry Studios, he gave me a call saying that he wanted me to come over there. They were interested in putting me in an overall and me working within the studio. So it was through basically Robert Boyd that brought me over there, introduced me to Tyler, and ended up meeting Tyler. Had an interesting meeting the first time, because I don't think people understand how big Tyler is. Like,
Yeah,
Tyler's a big dude. Like,
yeah.
Tyler's like 6'5".
I
Like,
know.
that was a big deal. So it was so funny because when I met him, he was sitting down.
Okay.
I reached across or whatever the table, so I sat down. So I had talked to him for like 30 minutes before we ended, and he just kept going. Like, I was like, oh, and then I had never been to the place. I was like, yo, my deal must have been huge,
Yeah,
man. Like, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
yeah, it was but it was a well, instant synergy with me and Tyler about how we create and
Mhm.
where he came from creatively and his mindset on creating. And yeah, it's just we've been running ever since.
Nice, man. Nice. If you don't mind me asking, being that you said Tyler is so tall, how tall are you?
I'm 5'10".
Okay. Oh, wow. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I'm regular. Yeah, I'm
Right.
regular. I'm
Right.
regular. You know what I'm saying? But he about Tyler about 6'3",
No,
6'5".
he's big. I've actually seen a bunch of Tyler Perry's plays before he got into TV and film, and even just sitting in the audience, he
He's
towered over
a tall
everybody.
guy. Yeah, tall
Yeah,
guy. Yeah.
absolutely. So you guys hit it off from there, um,
Yep.
and I guess what was the process like from that moment on to actually like landing the deal? Was it several
Uh,
more conversations? Uh,
no,
okay.
no. It was interesting. We hit it off so strong. I remember he called me like that. I had an outgoing flight. He called me like that next morning. Getting ready to go on my flight. like the
Wow.
next morning and was like, "Man, you sure you got to go?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I got to," because I'm from Houston. So I
Yeah.
was like, "Yeah, I got to go back home." And he was like, "All right, go do what you got to do, come back." So I was back probably like a week or two later. The thing I love about Tyler and the way that he works, this isn't a he doesn't work like the industry says. It doesn't take a year to figure out what you're gonna do.
Right.
We talked about it. I think like a week or two later, the lawyers got the information. Probably like a week or two after that, I signed the deal.
Hmm.
And then it was a strategic plan. We didn't even announce the deal until this year. I had already been there for like a year and a half,
Wow.
just working, right?
Right.
So it wasn't that long of a process after that.
Now, I know you said you got lawyers involved and all of that. If you don't mind me asking, I want to make sure that I'm asking the correct questions and not going too deep into detail. So stop me if you don't want me to ask these questions. But um, how, I guess, did you already have lawyers in place? Like, where were you in your point in life when you met Tyler, as it pertains to being in the industry?
So I was an indie filmmaker, but
Okay.
my business was together. I was already making shorts, and I before I met Tyler, I had already made the reading, and all of those things. So my business was together. So I already had like a team, and I called my lawyer to negotiate with his particular legal team. So at that point,
Hmm.
um, I have been doing film for like 8 years, so I knew, like I tell everybody, one of the most important things that you could do is get an entertainment attorney. You
Right.
don't want a deal, you want the deal. It's a
Right.
totally different thing. You have a lot of people that get deals and then they're sitting on the shelf for years. You don't just want to go to the table and be like, "Oh, I got a deal." Well, what actually do that mean? So you have to get somebody that knows how to negotiate to make sure you get everything that you deserve, and also know how to ask the questions that you have no idea to ask. You don't even know
Right.
to ask those questions, right?
Right.
So I had an entertainment attorney at the time, and she spoke to their team, and they got it done really quick. But the thing, it was so interesting, Tyler, and the team didn't come with the fraudulent things. It was like, nah, just give him what he. It was like, give him what, you know what I'm saying. Like, it was like, give
Yeah.
him what he wants,
Yeah.
type of, you know what I'm saying, vibe. He's not the type, to me, or for me, he wasn't the type of businessman where it was like Tyler has been open with everything. Man, go use the things that I built for your advantage. Like, do what you have to do. I didn't bring you here to become me. I brought you here to do your thing. So it was never it wasn't even a hard negotiation. It was like, oh, that's what you want? Here, do the
Yeah.
thing, do the thing.
Yeah, that's dope. And you don't always get that, in the industry. You don't always get that hands-on experience and that mentorship, or, just working hand in hand or side by side.
Yeah.
Um, so that's pretty dope. Now you've written and directed for shows like Zatima, Sisters, and Ruthless. How has working in television shaped and challenged your creative voice compared to filmmaking?
It's different. It's different. I remember. I know Lee Daniels is a friend of mine, and I remember talking to Lee, and I remember when I first did my film, Lee was like, "Hey, the money's in TV, though. Like literally, to verbatim, the money's in TV, though." He was right. Like it's a different game. TV is a different type of monster because you have to be consistent for a longer amount of time.
Right.
With TV, you're thinking about multiple stories versus just one particular story that you're telling. And even the type of storytelling that I do, my storytelling is already um thought provoking, and I like to sew in things early on for one story. So
Hmm.
then taking a Zatima, and now you have these five different people where you have to build a strong storyline for all five people for 20 episodes.
Right.
It's a different type of monster. But what it has made me do is become more efficient with how I think, how I create, and also working on those sets has made me problem solve faster. you
Mm.
don't you don't have the same type of time. So now I became a better producer
Right.
and director because I can problem solve way faster now.
Hmm. Do you have a team of writers? Do you write everything solely yourself?
I write by myself.
Mm.
I've been in a writer's room before.
Okay.
I've been in Sisters Nine. I was in Sisters Nine, and I've been in a writer's room before.
Mhm.
But when it comes down to things that I'm writing in that I'm on, I'll write it by myself.
Man. Um, Now, as somebody who balances, both writing and directing, how do you maintain uh, creative clarity across mediums like TV and film? Um, how do you, I guess, differentiate?
Um, well, what I do is I really at first learn who these characters are. So like the Satima world, the greatest thing, let me be very clear. Tyler has defined these characters so well, I don't have to.
Mm,
So all I'm doing, like honest on the real, he just gifted me the shit. Like because I don't know if we can say that.
yeah,
But oh
yeah.
yeah,
Go ahead, be yourself, man.
yeah, bro. He gifted me that because the characters are so well built in. I don't have to. I know what the character is gonna do. I'm just putting them in another situation.
Right.
Right? It's just another situation. The same thing with sisters. The same thing with Ruthless. It's harder for me to write for myself
Then the right for
versus for
others.
me to write for Tyler because he's already given me so much of the characters. I got so much history, and he's
Mhm.
giving me so much of the characters. For me, when I'm writing the series, I ain't never seen these niggas before, so
Right.
I gotta, I gotta figure out what they're going to do, how I want them to move, and all of that. So when it comes down to my stuff, what I do is I try my best to learn who this character is
Hmm. Hmm.
first. Where did they come from?
Yeah.
Who they are. Because perfect example, when I'm writing on multiple stories, the reason why I stay clear is because I'm looking at totally different people. It's like basically, I think of it as like right now you have cousins,
Yeah.
you have aunts,
Hmm.
right? Do you know your aunts and uncle differently?
Right.
They want these people have different households, correct? Imagine writing a story for one of their households versus another one. Totally different things will happen. That's
Right.
how I think about stories. I'm writing for different households.
Hmm.
This will happen over here. That this will not happen over here. And I know you might think it's similar, but it's not. This is a
Right.
totally different household that I'm writing over here. Now, sometimes in the process, it will take me I have to decompress. I can't like I'm not gonna have two scripts in front of me going, ooh, but I bet you that's not how it works. I
Hmm.
have to decompress. I'm only writing one idea at a time, and if I switch to another, I have to put this one to bed whether I'm finished or not to
Got
be
it.
able to move over there.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it into perspective, especially for writers who are maybe having a hard time building up the stories in between different characters and between um, say it is two different families or a large family and you have intersecting
Yeah.
issues, you know what I'm saying? But, one has one viewpoint and the other one has another viewpoint and they have to come together, clash, or come to a head. Uh,
I think sometimes writers get caught because they're trying to force things, and I don't think you should force right.
yeah.
But know who the character is. Give them history. It might not give them stuff you will never use.
Mm,
Did a dog die in their life at one point? What school they went to? What were their parents like? Was it a single or double parent home? I mean, a household. Learn these people that you're writing about, and then the writing process of what they're going to say becomes easier later on, especially when you're writing for a script. When you're writing a series, you have to go really in depth with who these people are. With movies, it's a little bit different. You know all of the situations they're going to be in, pretty much you want to put them in. With series, it comes from everywhere, and sometimes it develops to something else, but long as your character remains the same. And if your character doesn't remain the same, understand that you need to do that on purpose.
mm,
Everything you write got to be on purpose. Don't accidentally make her say shit if she never curse.
right. Right.
That's outside of her character.
Yeah. It's got to come natural.
It got to come natural. And if she gonna say shit, then it needs to be a reason that she broke that time. She
Right.
ain't bump her toe. Like
Yeah.
she saw a dead body. It got to
Yeah.
be something of that nature.
Yeah. Wow. No, that's these are gems, man. I'm sure a lot of writers are going to appreciate everything that you're telling them for sure, because a lot of people do get stumped when it comes to writing all of this out. Um, and you, were you? Did it take you a lot of time to get to this space as a writer? I know you said you've been writing all your life.
Mhm.
But how did you figure out structure? Did you read any books on it?
Yeah, so I never went to school for filmmaking or anything like that, which is interesting. But when I attempted to go to college, I flunked everything
Mhm.
except for creative writing. And at that time, the counselor at the school, you know how you get you on a grant, and then you got when you mess up in a semester, you got to talk to the counselor about the next
Yeah.
semester because
Yeah.
you got to go back apply for that same grant. Well, she was telling me I wasn't getting it again. So,
Mhm.
but she was like, but I see that you did really well in creative writing. Can I read something? And she read it and she was like, have you ever thought about screenwriting? I was like, no. And she was like, here, you need to check out this program. And she gave me this program called Movie Magic. And I learned the program and started just turning my stories into scripts. And
Wow.
then that's pretty much what the process started. I've always God gave me the gift of storytelling. Me defining, and the stories come to me so fast. Like people think, "Oh, Courtney, you write so fast." I'm like, I've watched this movie 15 times before I brought it up to you.
Right.
I've been walking around all day for the last 6 months, talking as these people before I even came and put pen to paper. So
Hmm.
they're just stories that have already always been there.
Yeah. Yeah. Does it take you a long time to write? Or are you one of the, quick writer? Does it take?
Yeah, it doesn't take me a long time to write. It takes me extremely long to type though. I am a horrible typer.
Yeah.
No, like, and I can't type and write. So like I all of my scripts.
You write them down. You handwritten first. Wow.
Yep,
Wow.
yep.
Wow.
Hundreds. Everything is written first because I can't think and type. I
Right.
can't think and type. So and I type so slow. So
Yeah.
it's like my process is I'll get a composition book and write out my story. Then I'll go back and making sure all of this story is aligned. And then
Mhm.
I go back and then I start writing the script because now all of my story is on paper.
Right.
Like it'd
So
be
do you
crazy.
even do the outline, or you just kind of, freestyle? You
Oh
s-
no, you mean at first? Like when the first?
like when
No,
you
I call it vomiting. I'm just vomiting
okay. Wow.
out whatever comes to terms. And then my second time I come and I never was an outline person because I know I'm gonna go wherever I want to go. So
Right.
then I come back and take out the things that don't make sense to this story because I know when I'm writing, I'm just going off the head. So I'm like, oh, he gotta be a cowboy. Then I come back later and like, nigga, this ain't even a Western. You can't
Right.
put this in here. And I take that out,
Yeah.
finish that, and then I go and start adding structure, interior, exterior, and start writing out the scenes like that. And even after I write it fully, like I have a script right now that has been written for like 3 years, and I just turned it into the studio, but I've already told them like, hey, this probably gonna be rewritten again because
Right.
now I have this idea
Hmm.
that's going to change the dynamic of everything in the story.
Hmm.
You know what
Wow.
I'm saying? So a script to me is never finished until we say action. And
Exactly.
then, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like until we get on set,
Yeah.
I'm still working on it.
Yeah. You can always make changes, man. There always
Yeah.
can be changes. Yeah. All right. So let's talk a little bit about Old Gray Mare, which
Yes.
is your short film. Um, what inspired you to write this story first
Mhm.
and foremost? Where'd you get your inspiration from?
So, mm, I I'll wait until the feature comes out to say
Okay.
the initial thought, but let's just say that um I came to this. My grandmother had probably a small case of dementia, and
Hmm.
my experience with her, when I got to this point, helped the development of it because of my relationship with her. My grandmother was a woman that did everything. She went to the store by herself. She
Right.
drove cars by herself. and she was older, but she would drive. She would be in the garden. She knew how to sew. She knew how to cook. She knew how to do all of this stuff. So she
Mhm.
was like Superwoman to me.
Right.
And so later on, when she got sick, and I guess the case of dementia, she would forget things, right? And I
Mhm.
got a small case of it. I got a small case of it, but I really started researching dementia and looking at stories, and then I became a fan of I can never forget remember the name. There's a guy online, he takes care of his dad, and it's they're hilarious together, but it's a guy online, he takes care of his dad has dementia. I
Mhm.
think his name is Ned or something, but I watched them a lot, and he's literally, it's like he's reintroducing himself to his dad probably on a daily.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
so the concept of mental illness and mental health has always been something that has stuck with me.
Mhm.
And then the dementia is just a portion of it, because as I told people, Old Gray Mare short is just a short version of the feature film Old Gray Mare, which we're filming later this year. We just wanted to go the film festival route with the short at first.
Right.
But the Old Gray Mare movie that we're filming is the pilot episode of a show that I have called the Amygdala episode. I mean, the Amygdala series.
Amygdala.
Yeah, and for everybody, the amygdala is this almond-shaped thing that's in your brain that controls how you view and how what your perspective is of things. So,
Mhm.
like when you were growing up, if you had trauma and your amygdala is scarred in that way, unless you heal that, everything that you see will be based off of that scar.
Wow.
But the amygdala is a real thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it was just very interesting to me, and the series is based off that. And Old Gray Mare is the first
Of that.
part of that. Yeah.
Got it. Got it. Yeah. No. I feel that it's important to talk about yeah, mental health issues, dementia, things that go on in the Black community that oftentimes don't get discussed. I actually also have a family member who is suffering from dementia as we speak, and some days are good, and there's other days that are bad. There's ups and downs. Sometimes when you're on a FaceTime call, they might remember your face, and then other times they're grasping, trying to remember who you are.
Right.
It's difficult, and a lot of times you try to um, help them to remember, and kind of laugh and joke with them, so to speak,
Yeah.
and over
Yeah.
time, they start to get some of that memory back. But the amygdala um, concept sounds really dope, and it also sounds like a memory inside of a memory. Like where bad memories lie, or maybe like the traumatic events in your life.
Yep. 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 Yep.
Stored. Yeah, so that sounds pretty dope, man. Now, it, Old Gray Mare is a psychological thriller. Is there anything that you can tell us in this interview about Old Gray Mare?
Old Gray Mare is a film that views of the relationship between a grandson and a grandmother, as I said, that is going through dementia. Now she's going through a much stronger case,
Hmm.
and but he doesn't notice because he doesn't live with her, and he visits her only like once or twice a week. And basically it shit hits the fan incredibly when he chooses to go on a vacation for a few days on a cruise, so he can't answer his phone with his wife, and she's left at home by herself for like 4 days, and we're in this house with her,
Hmm.
um, experiencing what she experiences. Perfect example. She forgets this her house.
Hmm.
So imagine waking up and you don't know where you are.
Right.
Right. So it's things like that to where we just really go into the household with her and see the things that nobody would know happens if you didn't live with her. And it just it all collides at the end of this journey.
Mm. And can you name? Are you able to name some of the cast members that are in this? I saw the trailer.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
the trailer
Uh,
looks amazing, by the way.
oh, thank you, thank
Yeah.
you, thank you.
Yeah.
Deval Ellis. Deval Ellis is one of our stars. Charnel Brown is one of our stars. And Tyler Lepley is one of our stars. Larissa is also the leading. I think her last name is Dahlia Deli.
Mm,
Um, and that it's a small cast. I also have Nicole Crump that plays a vital part in it, because even in this we see that Nicole Crump plays a neighbor that knows her, and Nicole knows she deals with dementia, but her grandson doesn't. So it just shows like sometimes the neighborhood knows your parents more than you do, because
right.
they see them every day.
Yeah.
Um, um, Elijah Gomez, and most of the people from there are from Houston. A lot of Houston native actresses were that came in to be a part of it.
Mm. How long did it take for you to put this project together? I know you had, the amount of time that you wrote it, but as far as filmmaking is concerned.
So I put the shoot together. I put the shoot together in like 2 weeks. I put the shoot together in like 2 weeks. It took us about 4 days to
Mhm,
actually film,
mhm.
um, which was so interesting. When I say like it was crazy, because we scheduled it and then it rained. It was supposed to rain like 2 days before we were supposed to be there, so we had to switch the days. So filmmaking, like all the shit that can go bad, go bad.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it was that. But it came out to be an incredible project. Now I'm proud of it.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope. And so now it's going through the film festival circuit. Um, as I read, it's going to be in ABFF, also
Hmm.
Martha's Vineyard,
Hmm.
the Martha's Vineyard Film Festival, Bronze Lens, and I believe one other film festival.
It was just in the Atlanta Film Festival
Atlanta.
about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And we have like 10 more that we submitted to. We're just waiting on the replies back. But those are the four that have already confirmed that we'll be there.
Yeah. Well, what was the reception at the Atlanta Film Festival?
Crazy.
Yeah.
It was fucking crazy. It was weird because I don't watch my film with people.
Hmm.
I listen to them because I'm trying to see how their reaction is gonna be. So I wasn't in the room. I was in the hallway behind it.
Oh
And
wow.
when something happened, it was a huge like gasp, like,
Hmm.
and then when I came in at the end, when the credits went on, you know how like people stand up and clap.
Yeah.
Nah, they didn't know. They didn't know whether it was okay to clap or not. It was so funny. Like they didn't know. That's how jarring this project is. Like people don't know whether to clap or not, and everybody was like, hold on, we just want needed a beat, and then they gave it up for the project or whatever. But everybody needed a moment.
Well, I'm excited to see it. I mean, based off the trailer, everything looked amazing. It's got that psychological thriller vibe to it. Um, I star-studded cast. Also, the editing was amazing. I don't know if you had like a team to put all this together, or you did everything yourself.
No,
Uh,
I have a team. My DP is Gracie Henley. Gracie has DP. She DP'd the reading for me.
yeah.
All of my personal projects she DPs for. My editor Stan Hillard. He does all of my editing when it comes down to my original work. My first AD, Jessica Davis,
Mm,
um, Lakeisha Lemon. Like we were. It was a. I have my own team in Houston that I use.
mm. Nice, nice. And so, is has Tyler seen this project? Is he aware of all of this, or is this
Yeah.
a side, like a side venture, side quest?
Yeah, so this is the project that I got my deal off of. This to be clear, I showed this version to Tyler, but it was short. It was like 5 minutes.
Okay,
He loved it, but he was it took him out for a second.
right.
And so when I redid it, he only watched like 2 minutes of it. He was like, "Nah, I can't go watch your stuff. No,
He,
no,
he
no."
couldn't he couldn't finish it.
Nah, Tyler lightweight, man. Tyler,
That's how heavy this project is. That's how heavy it is.
It's heavy. This Tyler lightweight with it, but no, no, no. He definitely loves it. He loved it from the beginning. It was actually Tyler's idea to turn it into a feature.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that was his idea.
Yeah. And so once you're through with the film festival circuit and you guys film the feature, you have a full plan as to what you're going to do moving forward with that.
Yeah, yep.
Nice. Is that going to be a theatrical release? You don't know yet.
I
Or
hope. I
okay,
hope.
okay,
It is it's worthy of it, and I don't mean that just because. it's mine. Like I understand that some movies um need to be, it's a streaming. Some movies are streaming movies. Like you could tell this is one of those where I think a theater release would be great.
Mm,
Um, if the opportunity presents itself, this is one of those I think you should see it in the theater.
yeah.
But I'm also okay if you watch that bitch at home because it's gonna start a conversation. It's gonna be a rough ride home if you go to the movies and see this. This is gonna be a rough, interesting, quiet ride home after
Yeah.
this.
That makes it interesting for me. I know you can't really speak on, what goes on in the film, but it does make it exciting for me to want to watch it. I know the viewers who watches this interview is going to be excited to watch it if they go to these film festivals. And whenever you do decide to release it outside of the film festivals, or is it only going to be film festival viewed
This,
through the film festival circuit? Is that it?
yeah, for this version of it,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
This would be it only be film festivals, and then obviously when we do the feature film, it'll
Then
be out.
that's when the public will see that. Got it. Got it.
Yep.
Um, Now you also have an upcoming feature, A Love,
Yep.
and your catalog is continuing to grow. Um, can you talk a little bit about this upcoming feature and what are your plans for it, or what it's about?
Yeah. Love is a feature film. It is a obviously a certain type of love story. And it is about Naila that's played by Crystal Haslett. Character. I would call her right now, but she probably working right now on Sisters. But played by Crystal Haslett, and it's about a relationship that she has, and it's a domestic violent relationship, and it's showing her navigate through that, trying to protect the relationship. And I tell everybody, it's like trying to protect the relationship that's killing her. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And then how that affects the other people that are
Right,
around the situation. And
right.
it's more about how the effects on them as well. Just
No,
I feel like it's a film just that's telling domestic violence just in another light.
yeah,
We have done these type of movies before. I just don't think it's been done in this nature. That's all.
yeah, and it's kind of timely too. I mean, there's been a lot of, that within the media. A lot of people go through that in their regular everyday lives. A lot of people are quiet about it too. So it's also important to talk about and important to discuss,
Absolutely.
and be able
Yeah,
to showcase.
yeah, I absolutely like even the amygdala series. A lot of those topics that my episodes are about are
Mhm.
topics people don't really talk about.
Yeah. Uh, do you have any writing or writers that inspire you? Like, who are your inspirations?
My favorite writer director is M. Night Shyamalan.
Really?
Yeah, that's my favorite writer director. M. Night Shyamalan is the reason why I got into filmmaking. When I saw Sixth Sense, I was
Oh
like,
man, yeah.
yo,
That's classic film though. Yeah.
oh, I can do this. Writers that inspire me, it's not that I just have my top two movies are Sixth Sense and Seven.
Ooh, that's
You know what
another
I'm
one.
saying?
Yeah.
Those are my top two projects. And obviously, I love Spielberg
Right.
and Wes and
Hmm.
like what I'm saying, I love these guys for but a lot of that inspiration, a lot of it is I'm fans of theirs. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like I'm a fan of I don't want to ever work with Spielberg, but I'm not because I wouldn't love to. It's just like I don't. The fuck I'm gonna tell you? Like I don't. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to work with nobody I can't have an opinion on. Like yeah,
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
like man. Perfect example. Like I don't want to work with Denzel. What the
Really.
fuck I'm gonna tell Denzel?
But
Like
it would be amazing just to be able to say I've that knock that off your bucket list. That's something.
no,
Yeah.
no. I'm a director. I want to be able to tell you something. I want to be able to tell you, nah, go this way. Yeah, I'm
Right.
gonna tell Denzel go this way. Like I can't do that. You know what I'm saying? So it's I would love to be in a creative process with him, but to direct that Denzel, man, I can't.
Mhm.
What I'm gonna tell Denzel? You know what I'm saying? So I think about stuff like that. And I remember when I told Tyler who my favorite writer director was, he was like, "You want to meet him?" I was like, "Hell no." Nah. He was
Really.
like, "Why?" I was like, "Well, because I want to meet him when we're
When
peers."
right. Got it.
Like, because I don't want to be a fan. I don't want him to meet me as a fan. I want him to meet me about the work, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. I respect that. I respect that. Um, Now you were just mentioning, directing. When What is your style of directing? Let's just say, when the actor's trying to get the lines right,
Hmm.
on camera. and maybe you want them to do something different, what do you pull them to the side and direct them? How do you tell them to, to
Well,
pick up
I
the story?
never pulled them. I never pulled them off set. I
Okay.
just speak. I speak quietly to
Uh-huh.
them to try to get them to the space, because I feel like once you pull them to the side, you're pulling them out of something that they're already finding trouble getting to. So
Mhm.
let me not pull you out this space or out this environment. I go and just speak calmly to them and get them whichever. Try to give them as many notes as I possibly can to get them, because sometimes the note isn't about you doing something different. It could just be beats. Like, hey, I love what you did, but as soon as your eyes go up, turn. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? It's things of that nature. So I try my best not to take them out of the environment. I speak to them clearly, privately, right there between us.
Yeah, yeah.
Worst scenario, I empty a room and let them stay there before I pull them out of the scene.
Got it.
You know?
Yeah, yeah. Now, as far as these stories that you tell, do you often like to tell a lot of your stories from the Black perspective, Black point of view? And if so, like, how important is it to you to be able to tell these stories from the Black perspective?
Um, I don't know the answer to that. It's just I tell I tell stories because, like, realistically, I don't I don't tell stories in a way to where I'm like, oh, this is a story from the black perspective, like dementia.
Hmm. Is it right? It's universal.
You know what I
Everybody.
mean? So it's one of those. That's why I say it's a difficult. Now, what I do want to what I do what's important to me is to also allow the world to understand that black directors can tell worldly stories.
Right. Absolutely.
We're not telling black stories. We're telling human
Stories.
stories
Hmm.
that can relate to any race or any ethnicity or any gender or like any of that. You know what I mean? So that's a I think I get what you mean. It's just hard for me to communicate how I never think about I am a black man. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And but I'm telling stories from my experiences in life, and in my life, I've been majority around my people and then black people. So absolutely, it
Yeah.
is coming from a black perspective, but it's not necessarily a black story. It's just coming from a black man telling a story, a human story. If I think that's, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's the trajectory and the direction that I think about
Yeah.
my storytelling.
Yeah, I actually think you answered it better than I asked the question.
Huh.
Um, and to be able to relay the human experience, regardless of,
Right.
race, gender, whatever the case may be.
Go
Um,
ahead.
but oftentimes, our stories don't get told, and that's why I phrased the question that way. But I do definitely understand the way that you answered it, and I think you answered it better than I asked. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I truly appreciate that. Okay, so outside of Old Gray Mare,
Mhm.
and A Love, and the shows that you're writing for, what's next for you? What do you have next on your plate?
Man, so much. I tell people, so I've been writing all my life. Like next year, after I get done with Old Gray Mare and A Love, I'm
Mhm.
doing a horror run.
Really?
Yeah, I already have 3 films that are written, slated, ready to go. So I'm doing a horror run. I'm easing into it in that I'm playing in a psychological thriller avenue right now. But
Mhm.
yeah, I'm doing a horror run. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? I'm chasing West. I'm trying to make a better character
I
than
see that.
Freddy. I'm trying to make a better character than Freddy, which is fucking impossible. He made like the ultimate fucking villain. Like, you gotta go to sleep. Like, who
Yeah,
beats him? You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
yeah,
So it's I'm excited about that.
yeah. And there's a reason why those films have not been touched. There's been
Absolutely.
no
Baby
reason.
fine. I don't know why they keep leave Elm Street alone.
Right? Yeah,
Leave Elm Street alone.
yeah, man. That brings me back to my childhood, man. I used to
Oh,
love.
you know, these my favorite people.
Right.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
got it tatted on you. Yeah.
All 3 of them.
That's dope, man. So, all throughout your life, a lot of your stories have kind of been in that realm, psychological thriller, horror. Do you write anything upbeat? Um,
Yeah. I have a
yeah, obviously you do. Yeah.
yeah, I have a comedy. I have a comedy that I'm working on too. It's just it's a bigger movie. You know what I'm saying? And like
Right.
truthfully, they're not like even it's an interesting thing. Like people aren't giving me, they're not going to give me 30 to 50 million dollars to do the projects that I want to do. So what I also do is I write to mandate. So I write to where I know I am today to get the best quality of work that I am today to be able to compete in the market today.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And psychological thrillers and home-based horror. It's the financially smart thing to write and dig into until you get them on your record, and then that budget grows.
Right. Right.
Comedy kind of needs a little bigger, but it's a different look,
Mm.
right, than a psychological thriller.
Well, that kind of poses a question for me because I hear different, depending on who is being interviewed. I've heard some writers or writer directors are asking for, let's just say, a $5 million budget, and some are
Mhm.
asking for 10 million, and then you just stated a 30 million or $50 million project. Um, why are the budgets different? And is it possible to create something of quality with a $5 million budget, opposed to, do you really need the 30 to $50 million budget, and what does that money go towards? Like, how is it allocated?
So one, no, you don't need a $50 million anything. I haven't written anything that need. No, I'm lying.
I'm sure you got something, man.
Yeah, but like the thing that'll need a $50 million project that I've written, it's a monster movie.
Okay.
There are monsters involved. Like there will be sets that need to be built.
Right.
There will be days to where this blow up and fight scene is so huge. This is the only scene we can do today, right? So
Mhm.
I have to shut down half the city scenes, you know what I mean? So
Got it.
that money gets allocated to those things. As of right now, no, I'm pretty much in the 5 million for the next few years. I'm in like the 5 to 10 million dollar range, and that's way more than I could ask for. And that's way more than I'll probably need in the moment, depending on the project, and honestly. But for like the Old Gray Mares and all of those things, and then I'm gonna be even on it. It depends on the talent.
Right. Right.
You get a certain amount of talent, you're not spending your 10 million on production
Yeah.
because you have five people that get a million per film.
Hmm.
So the reason to answer your question, those budgets vary also by the talent, the days, and what you actually want. What type of camera do you want? I think Ryan shot Sinners on film.
Right.
You
75 millimeter
You can't
Panavision.
fuck that up,
Go ahead.
boy.
Yeah.
You
Right.
see what I'm saying? So it gets more expensive. So to answer the question, it depends on where the budget is allocated and
Got
what you're making with that particular budget. What I want $30 million for, I want Eddie Murphy in.
right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking of those things like that.
Yeah. And it's important to, for the audience, and for up and coming filmmakers to know, like, what the difference is and why certain budgets are asked for, or, required to make certain types of films. Because I don't think everybody quite understands what it takes to properly, make a film from start to
And I,
finish.
and then I'll also say I've made a $2,500 short. You
Hmm.
know what I'm saying? Like I've made the $250,000 film.
Hmm.
Right? So it just depends on the story and what's needed for the story. And I encourage all filmmakers, stop waiting until they give you $30 million and write something, or go get an idea that can be written for something that has the budget that you have.
Right.
How about you go get the budget that how about you use the budget that you have to make something? Write a story that fits that right to budget. When you're getting started, you start writing to budget, then they'll start seeing your value because you have projects that are coming out that look amazing because you wrote to budget. And then they'll offer you what you want to grow because they see the value in what you could do.
Hmm. Hmm.
And at that point, you probably don't need them
Right.
to see shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Where do you see yourself probably within the next 3 to 5 years in your career?
Oscar and and like a ridiculous multi-picture deal.
Nice.
Like one of those, they gave that nigga what? Yeah, one of those. I'm supposed
Yeah.
to, they gave that nigga what? Man, they should have gave it to me, man. I'm gonna be him, that guy.
Right.
They gave that nigga what?
No, that's dope, man. That's dope. That's dope.
Trust me, I got it already when the deadline released, and they said Tyler did the first look deal. Hey, who he gave that nigga what? Man, I'm
Yeah.
that. I'm that they gave that nigga what guy.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. I know you were hyped, when you finally landed your deal and you knew you were on the trajectory of, working in the business and now you're in it. So, I guess what does that feel like from going from I really want to be in this business to now that I'm actually in it and I know all that it entails. Um, I don't know how I can word that, but I know it's a certain feeling that comes along with that. And then, each step of the way as you're growing and you're reaching your goals and you're achieving your goals, I'm sure you have higher and higher goals for yourself. But now you're in it. Now you're working with Tyler Perry. You're doing all of these amazing shows, and you're working on films and writing and directing, and you get to meet all of these celebrities and stars. Is it all that is cracked up to be in your mind?
Um, I am a a about the art person.
Hmm.
I haven't had the time to process what's happening. Right, I give all praises. I'm so grateful that God has allowed me to be in this position. For first and foremost, I have to find certain moments soon to process what's happening because I'm that mindset of as soon as it happens,
Yeah.
I've mentally moved on to the next
Yep.
step.
Exactly. I know that feeling.
So the process to process it, I rarely take the time to like process it, but I am super grateful. I know a lot of people would love to be in a position that I am. I'm grateful for the position. I know where I get my gifts from. I'm not, as I said, I didn't go to school for this. I know where I get my gifts from, and I am fully grateful about being there. Is it cracked up? People are humans, and I think the people that you think are superhuman aren't. They're just human, and
Mhm.
that's refreshing
Yeah.
to me. So it's a cracked what is cracked up to be in a refreshing way because
Yeah.
you just realize how human people are.
Yeah. I commend you. I give you kudos to everything that you've been able to accomplish. And I know you're going to accomplish a lot more. You're already really confident in, where you see yourself today and as where you see yourself going in the future. And, yeah, man, I'm excited to see what else you have that you're willing to bring to the table.
I appreciate it. Yeah. I'm again grateful, and it's a blessing um to be in this position, and that's one thing I stay grounded in, and I don't forget.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Okay, so I like to give my guests a final word, whether that be a quote that you like to live by, words of encouragement, any advice. Um, you can say
I
one of the three, or you can say all three. It's up to you.
I think it's probably all three in one thing. I encourage everybody to understand that God did not give your future to another person. That's not going to do the things that they're supposed to do for you. You have everything that you need, and if you feel like something is missing, relax and look like to the step that's right in front of you,
Mhm.
and do that step. Don't always look at the goal. Just look at the next step, and then you'll wake up and you'll be at the goal. But there is no human on earth that has something for you that they're not giving to you. That's not how God works. He gives you everything that you need. And sometimes when a person who doesn't give you something or doesn't support you, it's because they're not supposed to. They can't go where you're going, and it needs to be in directly in your face. A lot of doors that don't open are locked because it's something dangerous in there for you. That is something. It's like yeah, it could seem good, but everything that's good ain't good for you. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
You can be allergic to some fucking chocolate. Like it's you really got to know you, and you got to trust God in this process.
Yeah, amen, man, amen. Well, Courtney, thank you so much for joining, coming on, and speaking a little bit about your journey and the projects that you have coming. Um, I enjoyed this conversation. I had a great time talking to you, and I'm definitely going to be, on the lookout for everything that you have moving forward. I'm going to be posting and sharing, the news to the world, man. I'm an avid supporter. I like to support, especially the people that I get to know and meet. Um, and yeah, just congratulations on everything you got going for yourself, man. You're definitely doing it.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm sure I'll
Yeah.
see you soon.
Yes, yes. Courtney Glaudé, everybody.
Ah, I see you got the name right at the end. No, okay. No,